Hello and welcome to my first live broadcast for 2021. I'm still setting things up in the background, but we will be live in 37 seconds if I can get everything working. I'm just doing a screen share and that looks okay. So I'm bringing the screen share in and we've still got 19 seconds to go. So I made it. And Happy New Year if you're actually joining me. This is just a training run, as it were, but also I'm doing something different, as I'll explain in a moment. 3, 2, that's me on screen. Hello and welcome. If you're watching on my profile, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. I just wanted to come live. I should have been live yesterday, but events didn't work out exactly as supposed to, so I've come live today instead. Now normally on a Saturday I've been doing a podcast on Podbean, and that's been going out at 7 p.m. in the UK, 8 p.m. in Belgium and 2 p.m. Eastern, and I quite enjoyed doing it. But I'm going to do it live now and say hello to Grant. Hello, Happy New Year to you. In fact, it's given me a hint to bring up on the screen. Happy New Year to everyone as well. So Happy New Year, Grant. Happy New Year, everyone. And yeah, great quality. I'm actually broadcasting in 1080p on BeLive, which you can do with the Pro version. And the clarity, I mean, the thing is that BeLive are a Facebook broadcasting partner and have access to, as any three other systems do, the 1080p version, so that you can go live on Facebook in 1080p, which is good. And I'll come back to that. But I want to bring up the screen share now, because what I'm actually doing, if I bring that up on screen and go picture in picture, not that way around, that way around. Okay, this is my Podbean studio, and this is where I do my live podcast from. Live podcasting is fun, and I recommend it. I mean, it's great therapy from actually going live on live video, but I thought I'd combine the two today. And as you can see, I have in my Podbean studio a go live button. So we're going to start. And I'm going to say good afternoon and welcome to this podcast. This is Stephen in Wiltshire, England, broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube and Podbean. Now, I can only do this because I'm using a virtual microphone. I use the Krisp microphone, so that does the noise cancellation for me. And because it's a virtual microphone, it means I can use that microphone in more than one application. So I'm currently broadcasting on BeLive, and BeLive is going out to Facebook and YouTube. And I'm also now broadcasting on Podbean. So this is my podcast, and I should be able to edit it before I actually send it out. If you want to join me in the podcast studio, then I'm going to try and post a link if I can. And that link will bring you into the podcast studio as opposed to the BeLive studio. So if you click on that link, then you can join me in the podcast studio. As you probably guessed by now, I'm experimenting and building an audience for 2021. And podcasting is one of the ways to do that. You are reaching a totally different audience when you podcast, and a wider audience, a different audience. This podcast, which is currently on Podbean, will go out to Spotify. It will go out to iTunes. It will go out to several different places, and it even goes to Google Podcasts as well. So it gives you a voice outside the normal live broadcasting arena, and you can use it to actually get to know more people who can then actually come and watch your live broadcasts. So it's a marketing tool in its own right. Now, I do, first of all, today want to wish everybody if I can find it. If you are listening on the podcast, then you can't see that I've just put Happy New Year on the screen. Now, the thing about podcasting is what you don't want in a podcast is white space. You can't stop talking. If you stop talking, then people are listening to nothing, and that's not good. So you've got to basically have an agenda and go through that agenda. Now, I normally go live and I can speak for, I probably speak for hours about live broadcasting, but I speak for 30 minutes off the top of my head. And during my podcast, I talk about events during the week, events coming up, and the new systems that I've found, and why people should actually try them out. And as we're live on Facebook, I can see a comment that's just come in, and display the comment on screen. I'm going to read it for you. It's from Barry, and Barry's in Sarnia in Ontario, and he's saying, Happy New Year, Stephen. Looking forward to 2021. I think we're all, I don't know about you, but I breathed a sigh of relief as I drank my whiskey at 1 minute past midnight on the 1st of January 2021. I thought, thank goodness, I was going to say something else then, but I won't. Thank goodness that 2020 is now in the past. It was the most horrendous year, as our Queen would say, an annus horribilis, which is Latin for a terrible year. Annus horribilis, that's it, I've got it now. 2020 is something that we'll look back on in years to come. Hopefully 2021 will see the vaccine begin to take hold as millions of people, in hundreds of millions of people around the globe are actually vaccinated. They've just started testing in India where they're going to vaccinate 300 million people. And this is a time when things are gradually going to get better. I mean, in the UK, we are on lockdown, and you've got to say that we're on lockdown until April. I mean, our Prime Minister said April 5th, which is Easter Monday. But it's not officially in writing yet. But I think we've all got to play this as a long game and do our best to make 2021 better than 2020. A live video is one of the ways to do that. Podcasting is one of the ways to do that. So you'll see me live on the regular shows. Monday, we start back, and Monday afternoon with myself and Nick Wood, and we're doing BeLive on YouTube, which is where we actually celebrate BeLivers who broadcast to YouTube, and we play 4 videos. And we don't know basically what's going to happen in those videos. And we do a quick scan of to make sure that it's clean. In other words, it's suitable for work. But other than that, we're as surprised as you are and delighted when people actually come and we can share their videos from YouTube. If you want to join if you broadcast to YouTube using BeLive, then all you need to do is get in contact with me or with Nick Wood, and we will quite happily show your YouTube video during our broadcast, which is at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK on Monday. Earlier today, I was chatting with Fons Chamberlain, and Fons and I will be live on Monday at 5 p.m. in the UK, 12 p.m. Eastern. It's a 5-hour time difference, and Monday's show is going to be, well, it's going to be a blast because it's the first show of the new year. I'm refreshed after having 12 days off, not broadcasting, which has done me the world of good. I've been able to get out and about in the fresh air. And of course, during the show on Monday, Fons and I will be doing the pop quiz. Now, the pop quiz is basically 10 questions, and we need the help, and we've had the help of Barry and of Kelly and of Gospel and Corinda of getting the questions right. It's just a fun hour show. We might bring us a second different quiz in this week, because on Trivia Plaza, which is where we get the quizzes from, they don't just have music quizzes. So we could choose something entirely different for the second half of the show. And the first half would have the pop quiz, and the second half will have another quiz from Trivia Plaza. So put your thinking hats on and join us on Monday for that. Tuesday is the 5th of January, and it's the first Tuesday in the month. So I'm live in the BeLivers group at 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK. And I had great fun about a week and a half ago, actually using more than one camera on BeLive. And I'm going to come full screen now. You know I'm actually going out on a podcast, so I'll come full screen for a moment. And take Barry's comment off the screen. Yeah. I had great fun over the last, about 10 days ago. I was writing a blog for the BeLive website, which I'm honoured and pleased to do. And the blog post was about multiple cameras, because in BeLive Pro, you can now have more than one camera on screen at the same time. And I wrote the blog, and I started off as I am now, with just me on screen. Then I brought in a second camera from the laptop. And then I moved the laptop into the kitchen and gave what could have been a cookery demonstration, but I didn't actually go through with it. I may do how to do a lasagna at some future point, but for the moment, it was just basically to show you can actually put your Logitech camera onto a tripod and then use the tripod to focus on the kitchen work surface so that you could be seen on screen using your laptop camera, and you could use the external camera to actually give a cooking demonstration. And I'm going to take a comment now, so I'm coming over to the comments. And remember that this broadcast, hello Chris, and Chris is in Belgium. Happy New Year, and thanks for joining. This, as you know, I'm actually broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and Podbean. So this is a podcast, and I did a test the other day and it worked. So basically, because I'm using a Krisp microphone, I can use that microphone in two applications, one of which is Podbean, the other is BeLive, and we're actually going live on both at the same time, which means that the podcast, rather than sitting down at 7 o'clock and just doing the podcast, I can sit down on Saturday afternoon and do a video on a podcast at the same time. Anyway, back to the multi-camera story. So I did the cooking in the kitchen, and then after the cooking in the kitchen, I moved the whole thing into the conservatory because it was raining, it was pouring down outside. And I set it up to have the laptop back camera pointing down the path in the garden. I had the external camera taking a diagonal look at the garden as well, and then me on camera sat in the conservatory on a stool. And that was a 3-camera setup, and it just worked so perfectly. So I just enjoyed doing it. Now, what I've been challenged to do, challenged is the right word, is to actually, in BeLive's group on Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. in the UK, is to do a multi-camera demonstration. Now, I'm still working on how to do that, because physically I'm in the office. And if I said, wait 5 minutes, I'll just carry the laptop down, that's not going to work, is it? So what I do have is I've got another PC upstairs, and I'm going to, in the attic, I'm going to use that as the host station. And then I'm going to practice tomorrow. Okay, after we've done the cleaning tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my portable downstairs with the external camera on the tripod, and I'm going to practice, and I'm going to broadcast from the computer in the office in the attic, and see if we can get that to work. Because it's actually, you can explain a multi-camera situation, but showing it is so much better. And another comment has come in, and we say hello to Chris. It is interesting, and out to Chris again. And Chris is saying, I Pivo have a microphone, smart microphone holder to make a web camera from your smartphone. That's a good idea. I'll take a look at that. Thank you. And next comment is coming in, and we say good afternoon to, or good morning to, Alan Smith. And Alan, it's nice to see you, and thank you. I can't take credit for it. I just love it. It's just a background that's come from unsplash.com. I just went to unsplash.com, typed in rainbow in the search box. It came with about 20 or 30. I was able to try them out, and this is the one that I like the best. And thank you. Thank you. I think that we are able to produce such high quality broadcasts now. I mean, this, as Grant said earlier, the quality of the video is darn good. It's going out to Facebook in 1080p. BeLive are a Facebook broadcasting partner and can do this officially, as only 3 companies can. And it just improves the viewing experience. So Tuesday is basically going to be all about multiple cameras on BeLive and what you can do with them, because you can really tell a story. I mean, what we're doing when we go live at the moment is telling stories. And if you can bring 2-3 extra cameras in to help tell your story, okay. I would love to have, for Tuesday, I would love to have a chicken cam, sort of remote camera, sort of down the garden where the chickens live. But I'll work on that for the summer. It's a bit wet at the moment, and the chickens are in quarantine. In the UK, we've had a warning from DEFRA, which is basically looks after livestock in the UK, and they've said that chickens are not allowed out, much in the same way as we're quarantined, while the migrating birds fly over. So we're hoping to release the chickens sometime late Jan, early Feb, and they've taken to it well. They've not complained at all. Right, okay, just a reminder, as I go small screen again, that I am actually broadcasting on BeLive to YouTube and Facebook, and on Podbean I'm doing my weekly podcast, and it tells me I've been broadcasting for 13 minutes 45 seconds, which is roughly halfway through, and I'm halfway through the week. So which brings us to Wednesday. Now Wednesday has become a special treat. Wednesday is when Marco and I put BeLive and StreamYard to one side, and we go on Restream.io. Now, Restream.io have been building their own studio since May, June last year. And Marco and I have been following their progress. But along the way, we have met people and they have joined us. So, first we're joined by Harper Peterson, who's in Arizona. And Harper is a car guy, ex-military, and the 3 of us just get on so well, and we'll talk about anything and everything. Then we're joined by Krisp, and that's Chris, who's here, who's in Belgium. So Chris joined our team as well, broadcasting at 12 p.m. East in the East Coast, 5 p.m. in the UK. Chris joined our team, and was soon followed by Peter Stewart. Peter Stewart and I have been broadcasting for 5 years, and he's just an amazing guy. Likable, friendly, personable, knowledgeable, opinionated, but reasonable with it. With this week, so we've got up to 3, got up to 5, but this week we have a 6th person joining us, and that's Domingos, or Dom is joining us from the USA. So we're going global. So we'll have 6 people on screen this coming Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Anything can happen. Talk about anything and everything, and we've got 4 spaces. It would be good to fill those 4 spaces, say by March time. So if you want to go live with friends, 12 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday. 1 week it's at my house, and the following week it's at Marco's house. So we get a chance to produce the shows on Restream, and Restream is a system to watch in 2021. In fact, yeah, I could sidetrack. I'll sidetrack later. Thursday, Blowing for Britain, episode 259, with myself, Peter, who I just mentioned, and John. And speaking of John, that's my cue here. It's time to say happy birthday to John Upton. Now, I'm not going to sing. I wouldn't do that to you. But John's a good real world friend. We've known each other 15 years, 16 years. We used to go out to the local pubs and enjoy a pint or 2, put the world to rights. Then I moved from Stratford to be in wonderful Wiltshire with Angelica. So now we do it virtually. But for the last 5 years, he and I and Peter have been broadcasting on Blabbing for Britain. And we just look forward to it. It's one of the, highlights of the week. And then, of course, Jon appears again with Inspired by him video at 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. in the UK on Thursday. And he does each week a marvelous instructional video on an aspect of using InVideo to create your business videos. And we just have a blast doing it. It's so much fun. And so happy birthday, Mr. Jon Upton. And we're not going to mention numbers, because if we mention numbers, that's not good. And the last comment that came in was from Alan, and thank you. So that brings us up to Thursday, and then we are back. Ask Angelica is back on Friday, and we're going to something beginning with the letter U. So think of a town in Germany beginning with the letter U. Difficult one, that. I know Angelica will find a town. Basically, Angelica and I are partners. We love broadcasting together on Fridays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. in the UK. And Angelica is a German teacher. She teaches online. She teaches on Udemy. She's got a blog site where tens of thousands of people go. It's a useful resource site. And we are visiting a town beginning with U. Angelica will get 10 German sentences together and the 10 translations, thank goodness. And I will read through the 10 sentences in German. Angelica will correct my pronunciation, although because we've been doing this for 4 years now, my pronunciation is getting somewhat better, but not perfect. Angelica will read it correctly. And then together we translate it, and with everybody who's watching at the time, we actually translate a sentence from German into English and learn something interesting about a town or city in Germany beginning with U. And then at the end, to round it off, the sentences are read in fluent German by Angelica, who's German native national, and I do the English bit with my Lancashire accent. So that's Friday. That's the broadcasting week, Monday through Friday, and all those shows, with the exception of Wednesdays, take place on BeLive, and that's the BeLive logo you can see. That was right. Up in the corner. Okay, so this is an experiment as usual, and I'd be interested to see whether it actually works or not. There's no reason it shouldn't. As I say, I did a test, and so this show is live on Facebook and YouTube and live on Podbean, and this will become this week's podcast. And the only thing I have to do throughout the 30 minutes of the podcast is actually keep talking. So if you've got any questions about live broadcasting in 2021, anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like to know more about, I am going to look at, I maintain a list. I maintain a list of broadcasting systems, and onto that list in the last couple of weeks has gone a new system called apps, HAPPS. Now, BeLive and StreamYard are fully formed systems. They have, over the years, they have matured into reliable broadcasting platforms. Then we got Restream, which is basically, it's got Restream before they did their own studio, got 2 million users. So they've got the user base to actually go big in 2021. And then along came, oh, right, okay. And we say hello to, Peter must have heard his name earlier. And we say hello to Peter Stewart and how to get more viewers. Well, that's a good one. That's a perennial one. Basically, I'll come back to that in a second. I just want to talk about, so Restream is one to watch. Also one to watch is a new system from Streamlabs called Melon, MELON. And Melon, again, is multiple people on screen, lower thirds, going out, multiple simulcasts to Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, I think. So Melon is one to watch as well. But they've been joined by another one, which is called HAPS. I'm trying to pronounce my H's, HAPPS. Now, the interesting thing about apps, and Corinda's been promoting this, is that the broadcast is actually hosted on the HAPS website, not on Facebook or YouTube, but on the HAPS website. Now, that's interesting. This is the first time I've actually seen the sort of broadcast being hosted on the production website. I mean, BeLive is not hosted on BeLive. StreamYard's not hosted on StreamYard. Restream, you can embed Restream into your website, but you can't watch it on Restream. Interesting. This is an interesting development. So after this broadcast, after I've had my coffee and cooking with Angelica, I'm going to go and investigate apps.tv, I think, and just for what it's like. I've heard people talking about it, and when people talk about it, then it means it's gaining some traction. And I know Brigitte's taking a look, and I think Marco's been over there too. So I'll be there as well. Right, over to the question from Peter, which appeared on screen automatically. Oh, sorry. Hello, Karl. Nice to see you, Karl. Thank you for joining, and a happy new year to you, and a happy new year to everybody who's watching live today. As I said a moment ago, I am live on Facebook, YouTube, and on Podbean. So I'm podcasting at the same time as I'm broadcasting. It only works if it's just me, but it's because I'm using a Krisp microphone, and I can use that microphone on both BeLive and Podbean. Peter, this question, how to get more viewers, is a perennial one, and not surprised it popped up on the second day. I think we were going along quite nicely. Then Facebook changed things. And now I'm not going to curse because it's only the 2nd of January. Facebook stuffed it up, and it's very difficult now to promote a show before you go live because you don't know where you're going live. If you're on BeLive and you go live on YouTube, you can promote the YouTube link beforehand. Now, that gives you opportunities. YouTube, great place to broadcast. BeLive goes to YouTube, great reason to broadcast to YouTube because you can do it with BeLive as I'm doing now. So this year I will be mostly, and that's a joke for English and Scots friends, I'll be mostly promoting the YouTube video. I'll promote the YouTube video on Facebook. So when we go live on Monday with Nick, on Monday with Fonz, on Thursday with Blubbing for Britain, I will put the YouTube link on Facebook. I'll also promote the YouTube link on Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest. Yeah, so the YouTube link is going to go everywhere, right? Facebook link is a bit difficult because, as I say, you don't know until you're just about to go live, well, as you've gone live, where you're actually broadcasting to, so it's difficult to share it. If at some point BeLive start broadcasting to Facebook events, then that would level it up again and we could start promoting events. So if anybody at BeLive is watching this, if we could have the facility to broadcast to Facebook events, then that would kill the problem we have at the moment, stone dead. If we could create an event, broadcast that event, that would be awesome. That's the magical solution. So if the API, the application programming interface on Facebook, allows developers to broadcast to events, that would be brilliant. Peter, this is a topic you and I can talk about because Peter and I have actually got a new mission. There is a system called OBS Ninja, and Peter and I will be broadcasting on OBS Ninja, which is totally free, to promote it throughout India and Pakistan and South Africa and Asia, because it's a totally free to use system. So Peter and I have, well, hopefully we'll get together and we'll go live, and that'll be good. So I'm going to take Peter's comment off and catch up with Chris. And Chris is saying, I was on Podbean. Everything is also perfect there. Brilliant. Okay, let's bring Podbean back again. And so Podbean's back. And Chris, if you make a comment, we shall be able to see it on screen. And this is the other thing, you need to promote podcasts as well as promoting Facebook. I mean, I just went live today. I went live today because I can. And with both the podcasts and the videos, I'd be doing more promotion. I think I will be creating videos in video, basically for promotion. Okay, and as countdown clocks. So every show will have its own individual countdown clocks. I mean, last June I did 50 odd countdown clocks, which were generic. This time I shall do countdown clocks specific to each show, and I'll do them the day before the show. Once I've done them, then we can use them in every broadcast. But just a reminder, I am broadcasting on both Podbean and BeLive, and BeLive is going to Facebook and YouTube. And I've just got a minute before I finish my podcast. Now, what happens to a podcast afterwards is that this, what you're listening to now on Facebook and YouTube, is the soundtrack for the podcast. And when I have finished broadcasting on Podbean, I get the opportunity to download the podcast, and then I've got to set about editing it. Now I have a wonderful piece of software, and there's Kris's comment. We can now see it on screen. So there you have anybody who's, well, Kris is on Podbean. Thank you, Kris. You can see the Podbean comments on the BeLive broadcast as well, which proves the point that Kris was saying, that she's actually on Podbean as well as watching on Facebook. And Podbean is a great way to actually promote. And it also normally, I normally just sit in a darkened room to do my podcast. But today I've got the lights on, I've got the camera on, and I just want to see, this is interesting, because obviously the live broadcast will work, because we've had comments on the quality of the broadcast. So the live broadcast is good. Kris is listening on Podbean, so the sound on Podbean must be good as well. I just want to listen to the replay on Podbean before I actually publish it as a podcast and send it out to Spotify and iTunes, and make sure that the quality is good. And then I use Soundtrap to actually put an intro and outro so that you've got music at the beginning and the end. Now, over the coming weeks, I think I quite enjoyed this experience, and hopefully you have too. I'll combine Podbean with a live cast around this time. I think it's cold outside and miserable. We've been for a walk into town today. So after we've done our walks on Saturdays, I shall sit down and I'll go live. And as you can see, we've now reached a 30-minute on Podbean. So I'm going to go to Podbean. I'm going to press end. And thank you to everybody who's watched on Podbean, listened on Podbean. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Take care. See you again soon. Sorry. Thank you to everybody who's listened to the podcast. I look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Bye for now. So I'm ending the podcast. Yes. And that's the podcast ended. And 4 people listened live. So thank you to all 4 of you who actually joined the podcast to see what it felt like. It's different experience from, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Oh, you can see all my podcasts there as well. So if I stop the screen share, you'll be back to me. Right, so that was successful. We did a podcast. We did a podcast at the same time as we did a live video. So I entitled this, I've already got a name for it. Do you want to have a guess what my name for this is? I'm going to find it. No, I'm not. I should at the top of this broadcast said, welcome to the live cast. This is a live cast, and a live cast goes live in video and audio at the same time. So a new broadcasting term comes into being as we go over to the comments and over to Kris. There will be, yeah, they're not in sync. They're not going to be in sync. I can explain why. Basically, the signal from me to Podbean is direct. I'm going direct to Podbean. Yeah, so it goes from my microphone to Podbean to the studio, and it doesn't go anywhere else. The microphone feed to BeLive goes from my microphone to the BeLive servers. The BeLive servers composite it. In other words, if there are 4 people with 4 video feeds, it will bring them all together. They then send that onto Facebook and to YouTube. Facebook then rework it so that they can use it, and YouTube rework it so that they can use the video and audio feed. But there is a delay. The delay between the two, between Podbean and here, where I am on Facebook, is because of the processing done by BeLive and Facebook, or BeLive and YouTube. So I expect there to be a timing difference. And PodLive, that's pretty good. I like that. Excellent. Teamwork. I love teamwork. I love getting together and brainstorming. So PodLive, that's good. Right, a new term is born. So thank you, Karl. Right, to everybody who's watched, to everybody who's watching, my friends, I wish you all a happy, healthy and prosperous 2021. I hope that the vaccine rollout in your countries goes smoothly. I know that things are going to improve. We all know that. We're all optimists and things are going to get better. So as today is Jon Upton's birthday, I'd like you all now, I won't, but I'd like you all to sing as we close the show today. Sing happy birthday to Jon. Wish Jon a happy birthday. That's Jon Upton. There's only one Jon Upton. You'll find him on Facebook. It's his birthday today, and I hope he's having a good day. It's too cold for the allotments, I think, so he'll probably be out and about somewhere else. I'll see you all again on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. in the UK for BeLive on YouTube with myself and Nick Wood. And 2 hours later, myself and Fonz on BeLive. No, that's wrong. What's that on Tuesday at 5 o'clock? It's myself and Fonz anyway. And we'll be having our music quiz. So enjoy the weekend. Take care. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. And